Get ready to witness the cosmic revolution unfold before your very eyes as we delve into the thrilling world of the 10 transformative changes that are reshaping the realm of space exploration. Hold on tight as we embark on this cosmic odyssey, for the changes coming to space will not only redefine our understanding of the universe, but also redefine our place within it. Prepare to be amazed as we unveil the cosmic wonders that await us on the horizon of tomorrow. Other astronomical lessons include learning that the Earth orbits around the Sun is a big ball of hot gas, and that we live in the Milky Way galaxy. Some of us may have learned some constellations or the phases of the Moon. However, one of these days, many of these facts and space as we know it will change. Whether it's destruction or just something lighting up our sky, these changes are coming and will affect us on Earth, so get ready. Here are 10 changes that are coming to space. 1. Death of the Sun. Stars are like living things. They are born, they live, and then they die. Our Sun is no exception to that rule. That means that one day, at least 5 billion years from now, our precious Sun will die, so make your plans now. A star dies when it has run out of fuel. During their lifetimes, stars are performing nuclear fusion. This is when a star takes the hydrogen inside its core, heats it to extreme temperatures, and converts it into helium. This means the outer layers cool down and expand while the core, now made of helium, heats up and burns the helium into carbon. From this point, the process can go a couple of different ways. If it is a very massive star, the nuclear fusion process will continue, fusing heavier elements until it reaches iron and explodes into a supernova. 2. Galaxies collide. Before we even worry about the Sun's death, we have another life-changing phenomenon to deal with. Our home, the Milky Way, will not always be our home. In 4 billion years before the Sun's death, it will collide with our closest neighbor, the spiral galaxy Andromeda. This was discovered when scientists were measuring the speed of Andromeda and realized that instead of redshifting or moving away from us, as predicted, it was blue shifting. These colors are referring to the wavelengths of the light being emitted from the object. If an object is moving away from us, its light's wavelengths will get longer, making the light redder. Blue shifting is where the opposite happens. As the object gets closer, its wavelengths are compressed. Further measurements and calculations allowed scientists to determine the size, motion, and speed of Andromeda. It turns out the Milky Way and Andromeda are coming together at a whopping 402,000 kilometers per hour, or about 250,000 miles per hour. 3. Betelgeuse will explode. It will, however, totally change our night sky and has scientists and stargazers alike dying with anticipation. Betelgeuse, not Betelgeuse, is a red giant whose reddish glow is visible in the northern hemisphere. It lies in the constellation Orion and makes up Orion's right shoulder. So for spectators, it's on the left side of the massive constellation, right above the belt. 4. Expanded solar system. If you thought memorizing the order of 8 or 9 planets as a child was tricky, try adding another 100. Yes, a solar system of about 110 could be in order. This doesn't mean over 100 planets were discovered, but rather the definition of what a planet is could be changed to include over 100 bodies, including the Moon and Pluto. Earlier this year, scientists started the debate over what defines a planet, and, like always, it was heated. Today's definition of a planet is a body that has a strong gravity in its domain. For example, Earth is a planet because it is big and has its gravitational territory. The Moon, which was once considered to be a planet hundreds of years ago, is not a planet today because it is in orbit around the Earth, and therefore not dominant. 5. Ninth planet, again. Contrary to adding 100 planets, scientists in California announced last year the possible discovery of just one planet lying beyond Neptune. This giant icy body is 10 times bigger than Earth and has a strong gravitational field. This would mean it fits the bill for today's definition of gravitational dominance, as well as the new definition of composition. The only catch is that scientists haven't seen this planet. They don't even know for sure if it is a planet, but the evidence is promising. They detected it by observing the behaviors of surrounding bodies. They noticed that the orbits of some of these outer objects were being affected by an unseen force. That unseen force could very well be a planet. Right now, there are 2 telescopes in search of it. As far away as the object is, though, the sun's light might not be able to reach it, so no light would therefore be reflected off of the planet. 6. Departing moon. The Moon, Earth's constant companion for billions of years, is gradually moving away from Earth at 1.48 inches a year. This is caused by tidal forces. The gravitational and tidal forces that the Moon and Earth exert on one another cause friction. This friction pushed Earth's tidal bulge ahead of the Moon. This acceleration tries to sling the Moon around faster, but it is instead counteracted. Instead of giving in and speeding up with the Earth's tides, the Moon loses energy and slows itself down in orbit, which causes it to drift away. This subtle change could have huge implications on Earth, including our lives as we know them. The biggest effect is the change in the length of our day. When the Moon and Earth were first formed 4.5 billion years ago, days were only about 5 hours long. 7. Martian Rings. Once again, this is not catastrophic or has any drastic impacts on Earth or our elementary school educational system. But like Betelgeuse's inevitable supernova, this will change what we see in our sky. We probably won't see them with the naked eye, but in about 70 million years, Mars might have rings. One of Mars's moons, Phobos, is moving towards the red planet. Once it reaches a certain point, the gravity of Mars will take over and shred the Moon apart. These shreds will get caught in orbit, accreting around the planet and forming rings. Even though this doesn't affect us on Earth much, it will be a good reason to bust out the telescope. 8. Solar system destruction. There is a small, but still notable, chance that the orbits of the 4 inner planets could become completely erratic and cause destructive collisions. It all starts with Mercury's funky orbit. Firstly, it orbits around the Sun with a much more eccentric ellipse. This just means that its orbit is more stretched out and oval-like. Secondly, the orbit precesses more extremely than the other planetary orbits. Precession is when a planet's given position, like perihelion, the point at which it is closest to the Sun, changes. 1 year its perihelion is at location A, then it moves to location B, and so on. 9. Earth's core cooling. Earth's extremely hot, molten core is cooling down, and if it reaches a certain temperature, it could ultimately lead to Earth's destruction. Currently, the core is both freezing and melting. As the core begins to cool and freeze, it releases heat energy into the metal-rich area between the core and the crust called the mantle. This creates convection in the mantle, where heat rises and cool air sinks. These currents move magnetic iron around, and that generates Earth's magnetic field. While this is the normal process, there are some places along the core mantle line where the energy from the mantle goes back into the core, melting those spots. 10. The Big Rip. This scenario is also hypothetical, like Earth's cooling core, but it comes from a phenomenon that is conclusively occurring. Scientists have proved that the universe is expanding and accelerating. 3. What happens as a result of this accelerated expansion is completely based on mathematical predictions, and one of those predictions sheds light on a not-so-pleasant fate. The Big Rip, as it's called, is the opposite of the Big Bang. In the Big Bang, the universe was formed, and everything in it was formed in later stages. The Big Rip is the destruction of all of that creation. As we reach the grand finale of this extraordinary odyssey through the imminent changes on the horizon of space exploration, one thing becomes crystal clear. We stand on the precipice of a paradigm shift that will revolutionize our understanding of the cosmos. From the advent of commercial space travel, where ordinary citizens can venture beyond Earth's bounds, to the awe-inspiring promise of interplanetary colonization, where human footsteps will leave their mark on distant worlds, the future of space is teeming with exhilarating possibilities. If you found our video informative, kindly subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on our videos.